Ladies and gents, welcome to Question Time Live, episode 142. And one thing I can promise you this week, it's going to be a very tired episode. I am absolutely bollocksed. But anyway, still turned up, of course. Don't like to let you guys down. And I'm hoping you're going to make it easy for me with some dead simple questions. Nothing too taxing. Let's keep it simple for me, folks, if we can. Now, in all seriousness, I'll be all good, but I am. I think it gets to this time of year, and I just naturally, I always kind of wake up with the daylight anyway. But we're that busy at the minute, I've been winding the clock back at that end, and it makes me even less of a nighttime person than I typically am. So. There we have it. Been a mighty weird one weather-wise today. We've had sun. It was cool this morning. It's been absolutely pissing it down. It's some proper spring weather, isn't it? So yeah, all good on that front. Koya keeping me on my toes at the minute. Bit of even after long periods of being in, it's amazing sometimes with sleeping sickness how it can take the slightest of things, or not even the slightest, just a specific trigger for whatever reason to get it going, and fucking hell, when it does, it's like and nothing ever with koi ponds, with the amount of them up there, nothing ever just goes wrong one at a time. It all likes to come all at once. Absolutely madness. So yes, Mickey, polytunnels are safe, mate. They really are. But I suppose the biggest ones this week has been was it this week, last week? I can't remember. We got the auction side of the platform rolled out, which has been fantastic. Although the first night, it was Sunday night, weren't it? Sunday night, that's it. Did come with its glitches, which luckily Dan's jumped on very quickly, which I'm pleased about. And then we run another test one yesterday. Got a few more things bashed out because I've got an absolute mega load on the site at the minute. Got them all loaded up today. Some cracking pieces, very diverse mix as well. Starting bids from 50 quid, and I've got a rocket or two on there as well. So something for everybody. But yeah, we're slowly eking that transition, getting everything over now. And after I'm done as well, I've got a few more fixes to push out on some of the kind of service updates that we managed to cock up, pushing another update out. Dan's actually pushed a cool thing today. It'll actually, whenever we've rolled something new out, it could be something that won't necessarily show up in the front end for you guys, but there's little tweaks and stuff going on all the time. You'll actually get a little notification come up to let you know, so you can refresh it and make sure all those features are actually working properly. But at some point, I'm just going to have a quick run through. I've got the screen set up here, so to share with you, to show you through some of them auctions and what it brings to the table for you guys as well. It's a pretty cool experience we're building out bit by bit. I must say, I'm big vision in my head, and this is probably on the roadmap. I probably reckon about 20% of the way there. I might be over egging it at that even. Who knows? But good fun journey to be on for sure. Other than that, I've not got too much else to waffle around. I've got something I do want to share platform related, but I'm not going to tell you right now because I get the feeling you're all going to scramble off. However, I might drop it a bit soon. If you tell me in the comments, have you got a device to hand that means you don't turn question time off? Because if you have, you might be the few lucky ones. I really got something for you. So let me know. Let me know in the comments. And then at the end of the show, we had the Kondo Goshki prize competition draw to get done. You lot, honestly, those who were in it today, has had an absolute touch, because I left it quite late to remind people that the deadline was closing, and nowhere near enough, or not say enough, compared to the usual ones, people jumped into it. So numbers a little bit lower than usual. So Yeah, there you go. Increased odds, increased chances. My own fault on that one. And other than that, I have fucking Chris has get it away. Look, Chris has get it away. Right. Anyway, I presume some of you got some other devices. I'll tell you at the end as well. So part of the one cool feature we wanted to roll out was giving you the chance to get a username on the platform. Now, you only have one chance, obviously, when these things, and some of you might want things that get snapped up. You are at ground zero here to get these signed up. So you can go ahead, and when you log in now on your profile, you'll see an option there to set your username. Now, what we've done, the bidding history that is public on all the listings, we've flipped it over. So you have a generic string attached to you by default. I can't remember what it is. It's a absolute load of waffle. Doesn't make sense to anybody. But if you go ahead and update a username, that will then be displayed publicly in the bid history if you are bidding. And obviously, it might be used for a few more cool features rolling out moving forwards. But yeah, so you can get logged in now and get a chance, because there will be some that will obviously get snapped up along the way. Quite a lot of people using this already. So now's your chance. And Chris, I saw yours. Dan told me you was officially the first person to sign up for one, from what I can remember, if that was correct. And absolutely love it, mate. I was pissing my pants when I saw it. So now I just need to get you bidding on something, so we can see it crop up, mate, in all its glory. Brilliant. And yeah, other than that, ladies and gents, you need to get me some questions fired in. I can see a few to get started on, but I'm not gonna lie, if the questions don't come in, I'm having an early night. We'll get this baby wrapped up. Yeah, let's see what we've got. We will start from the top. 80. I have quite a few coin, 400-gallon grow on, I take it. Tend to be accurate. I've noticed one koi that keeps biting the fins underneath one of the bigger koi to the extent it's become ragged. Wow. Is this an axe trying to reduce the number of koi in the pond due to competition? I mean, I wouldn't say 10 in 400-gallon AD ain't competition. I'll start with that bit on that question. It is really not competition. I mean, 400 gallons of water at the minute. I've got some crazy amount of fish in holding ponds in that kind of level of water, mate. So you can, I mean, it's a rare event. I'm not saying it doesn't happen. A lot of you might have experienced that weird kissing action. I don't exactly know what that's all about. But very rare to get this kind of behavior that you're on about, to the point that the fin's becoming ragged. Typically, it would be signs. You can get a bit of interaction like that if one fish is already a bit sicker. But yeah, I don't think, in all honesty, I don't even tell you what to do with that, Ada. I just don't think it's down to your stocking, mate. So I won't panic on that one. And is it just the one fish it's going at? Is there something wrong with that one fish that it's having a go at? And that's possibly the reason why it is having a go, because that is a circumstance when it would increase the chances of seeing that behavior for sure. Sorry, I can't provide much more of that, mate. It is one of the rare, not like my old tropical fish world in aquarium, shit getting bad for fun. I've had a bit of that recently, especially with my freaking garfish. Mental. Just started decimating all the catfish that were in there. No good at all. What are the best conditions for refining each of the following: Sumi, Benny, and Shiroji? And would you allocate a period of time for each of them during the course of a season? There's one to break down, Russell, innit? I said I wanted light ones tonight, mate. Sumi, typically, this ain't going to go massively in depth on each one, but Sumi's ultimate best conditions, I would say temperature-wise around 18 degrees is one of the best. Some say it does better in colder, not often the case. It might actually sync up with the other bit I'm going to say. Sumi doesn't like intense light. So in a growing environment, when you hit the heights of summer, you've got intense UV if your pond's getting strong exposure. You've got the fish growing. And I mean, because I assume we can ultimately, it's a concentration of cells still. So you can stretch it, but it seems to be the intense UV certainly sends it into hiding. When you combine that with intense growth, it's not ideal. So 18 degrees and some optimal light, which tends to be the kind of autumn spring lighting in the UK, is best for it. Winter does well. So yeah, winter as well. I was thinking of Benny then along the way. Winter, just that whole period. It's the summer that's the worst, but as UV intensity drops off, Sumi seems to absolutely love it. Benny is one you can actually manipulate a bit more through the use of color food. You can use that whenever. Ultimately, using a color food intensively will, to some degree, impact Shiroji a little bit, reaching its top level. The best quality color foods like Saki Akari color does mitigate against some of it, but it will cause tinting, especially in Tosai. Nisai onwards can be a bit different because there's a higher level of skin thickness. So Benny, yeah, I mean, color food needs to be minimum 18 degrees, ideally 20 upwards. So that kind of gets you tied there. And then Shiroji is another conditioning one. So Shiroji really, because through the summer you're growing, you're using color food at that point and growth food. It's not great for the Shiroji. So forget about that and bring that into conditioning in the autumn, winter, spring period. And Shiroji is just about clearing up. I mean, you can really, really work the Shiroji well just by change of diet, no growth, no color foods, so like a balanced food, and less intensity of the feeding, less feeds, just maintenance, ticking over so it reduces stress on the body, and really cleaning up the organics in the water at that point will massively help it. And of course, not having anything in the background like a heavy metals concentration, because that's going to cause the veining, the pinking in the skin as well, which you won't want to see. What have I missed there? Have I missed any of it? Not 100% sure. Allocating a time period. So yeah, ultimately, like for me, the growing season, summer, is the season for getting the growth done, keeping the Benny there, using the color food, but really forgetting too much about ultimate skin conditioning and Shiroji conditioning. You're going to pull that back. Sumi and Shiroji more in the autumn, winter, spring period. And of course, for Shiroji, there is a food, Saki Akari Pure White. It does do the job. It is quite remarkable stuff, but it is very, very, very expensive. So it's something you can do without having to use the food, but the food is freaking exceptional. So that's just something you'd have to balance out on that one. Hope you found that useful. Evening all. Evening, Ricky. Good evening, Ricky and Koi community. What's something intermediate koi keepers often think they're doing right, but it's actually holding their pond back? Oh, Mickey. It's bad enough that you're a Leeds fan and gave me questions like that to answer, especially after fucking overnight. I was fuming. And you've done well, Mickey, to hold back on that, to be fair. Hats off to you, mate. The whooping was enough. Trust me. Let's sit and fucking watch it. Right. What they're doing wrong? I say holding pond back. I've gone to sort of development here. I think is probably a big bit, and I would, the thing that sprung to mind, I think, is that transition of looking at the way you're using your pond budget and ultimately trying to add heating to the system, because I know it's still not. It's important to stress koi will live without the heat. They will, but I think if we're looking at that, getting the ultimate pond performance and ultimate fish collection progression, then it's the heating is a massive one to give you that control. It's going to give you easier springs, easier autumns, more stable, predictable winters. And then it's more on top of that, it's the heating in summer part, because you get the heating in summer. And I've seen it firsthand, because this is a process I push, and people who have done it, it's been game changing. I would say from that intermediate side of the hobby, then, stepping up, because you're going to gain more skills. You're going to learn a lot more from it. And it's not just in the keeping aspect. Your pond management actually probably make life easier overall, but you probably learn more about fish development and progress in a lot of other areas. So ultimately, having to fight this shit show of weather, certainly in England, is not ideal. And you get heating on, and especially with the heat pumps, and as I say, using them in summer or spring, summer, whatever it is, you're getting closer and you're getting higher efficiency even with them. But I know it's game changing. I would never encourage anybody to do anything here that wouldn't be a benefit. That's when it comes down to spending money on anything. If it is heating, foods, that's why there's so few things I actually recommend, and things I do recommend, I know they will improve or enhance or do something beneficial to your koi keeping hobby. So I think that's probably the one. Having that level of control just changes the game completely. Evening. Crash Goy, what size were they when they went into the grow, and what size now? Luke, the updates all got pushed out for them, pal. I can't remember that off the top of my head, but you should have had from the platform the update video and size range and notes on them. If you haven't, mate, drop me a DM and I'll get Dan to have a look. But I know they all went out. Doing very, very well, Chris. Absolutely flying at the moment. They are. So updates, I'm planning on rolling or ending their periods at the end of April, because they did lose a little bit of time in amongst a few things. So they'll get, when they're off the food, we'll put them through the whole process like we have with everything else. Evening, pal. I reckon I went up to pick a couple of my fish Friday. I'm sat at 18 degrees and water, as far as I know it, in top spec. There's any other things I can do to settle fish down. So that, I mean, there's no harm. I don't see any harm in bringing salt up to like 0.3 and you just leave it there and let it dissipate out naturally over time with water changing. Certainly nothing to be lost in doing that other than the price of a bit of salt. But it's not absolutely necessary, because that's the point, the amount of time that we spend conditioning those fish up, making sure they're adjusted to temperature, you name it, loads and loads and loads of different things, is to make sure they're as robust as possible. This is not like, when I bring fishing from Japan, it's a hell of a journey. Packing levels are very different. The journey is very different. You just can't even compare the two. So I think it's optional for you if you want to go for the salt or not, but certainly not necessary. It sounds like you've done everything right there. Decent temperature and fish being, everything being in top spec, as you say. That's the best thing you can do. So have a look. Oh, I lost my thread then. I pressed the wrong button. It's pushed me down. Here we go. Oh, that's it. Got down to Chris where shows his username. So I'm just trying to decipher through what's actually chat and thingy, and there we go. I'm upgrading the pond this summer here in Canada. I'm wondering what do you think about movement of water underwater? I just it's a good. Just basically, it's not really. It's not that necessary. It's not that important. You just need water movement, but a lot of the time at the surface, it's the best place. That's where I hit it all in, at the surface. The one directional flow, the flow pattern can make a big difference. But ultimately, whether you put it at the surface, down below, wherever it is, so long as there's current, and ideally for me, that kind of horizontal current as well, you're in the business. But there's more to be gained from it, obviously splashing at the surface, but I understand that ornamentally in a pond garden, you might not want that. So 100%, that's up to you. But like I say, its positioning, I think, is overthought a great deal on where it actually is depth wise. So whatever's most convenient, I would say. Oh, there we go. Look, Chris has had a go on the Sankey. Good lad. Look forward to seeing that username, mate. What to do when males bully the females at spawning time? Alex, there's not a lot you can do, mate. Obviously, it's nature taking its effect. If your fish are used to spawning, it's the time of year when it's going to happen. I mean, in a collection, you can control it, but what tends to happen is you can have more maley males than femaley females, if you like. What I tend to, just from experience, and this is something from the breeding I've picked up, is that they don't like the big sort of stocky males that, you know, not as male probably genetically as they need to be for the spawning. They're like the more longer streamlined ones that can do the job. You tend to get them really eggy looking females as well that I'm guessing they possibly just give off a bit more pheromone or something. So you can, I mean, by keeping fish warmer all the time, you take away some of the triggers. But ultimately, if you've had past experience or you've got fish like that, there's always going to be a bit of encouragement. But you can is kind of tricking their internal body clocks with the temperatures. But if you're at that point now and it's happening, other than removing the males that are doing it, there's not a lot you can do. How much more effective is K plus in a moving bed versus static in a K plus advanced speed for biological, not mechanical? Paul, I've got one system running the K plus, two actually. I upgraded one, so I've probably not even had it enough to pass experience. But from what I've seen of the system that's running it solely, it's been very good. It coated up with biofilm visibly very, very quickly compared to others that I've seen. So it's about the only judgment I can give. I've not really pressured it, anything like that. That pond is still yet to go through that sort of process. But ultimately, there is data on that, probably on Evolution's Aqua website. You know, there is known to be more surface area. There's scope there for better denitrification longer term because the way it's designed. I can see the benefit. I like the look of it. So, but as for in-depth stuff, mate, I can't really pass judgment yet. And it would only be an opinion versus the scientific stuff. If you want hard facts, as I would say, Evolution Aqua's website would be the one. Hello. Stand up to you. Get on it, Chris. Get on it. If you had a batch of fish that had a bacterial infection outbreak, under what conditions would you ever introduce them to other fish? So you need to, it obviously can heal. So take a pond that's had an active infection, you get it healed, you think there's no new infections, wounds have healed up, you know, all the redness, everything's gone away. At that point, for me personally, I'd probably give it around 6 to 8 weeks and then introduce something naive into that environment and see what happens. We want an absolute clean bill of health for that time. And then providing all goes well, you can introduce another, and, you know, fingers crossed you've got it. If you introduce that naive fish and it kicks off again, you know, you're not over it. But if you're doing that safely, then fish are, then I would consider those fish safe to be moving around. There we go, Mickey. Nice touch, eh? I was only joking, Russell, anyway. Hi, Ricky. My caucus thoughts are Benny under the belly, similar to an Asagi koi. What can I do at toe size stage to avoid it happening? Nothing. That it will be genetically that's happening. That's just there's absolutely nothing you can. I know the one I've had it with a few of my own shower, but yeah, unfortunately, nothing you can do to solve that one. Best thing I've done, putting an air source heat pump on the other week when the pond shop to 18C cost about 150 a day, and some night being 2C. Fish look best since ponds have been stable. Very, very glad to hear it, Richard, and thank you for sharing that. Good evening. Good evening. Oh, Ken, I don't like this one. Hi, Ricky. If Saki stopped producing koi food, what would you start using? Specifically, would Nutrimate be a decent option at my local diet? Yeah, well, that's always interesting. We obviously dealers recommending stuff that they're selling. Uh, for me, my first, if Saki stopped, the next one for me would be FD. Although FD is not a default choice, I'd be fucking if Saki ever stopped, I'd be heartbroken. I actually remember a time when it did stop. The first sort of round of me using it, there was a period where they couldn't get it into the country because of some regulation change and a document needing changing. It was brutal, absolutely brutal. But yeah, it would be the Japanese foods that I'd be looking at. They're just built differently, so that would be my choice. Yes, Ray, dropping that date out on the groups tomorrow for the collection event. The mega ponds. God, I'm staring at that space now and I'm like, oh, yes, cannot wait. However, I still don't know. I've got a feeling this system is going to go full Japanese style build. Because it is commercial. Obviously, it's not a hobby pond. There'll be reasons behind it all, but I get the feeling. Look, thinking of all the concepts I want it to achieve and maintain the simplicity, it's going to go full on Japanese build, or style, and yeah, just heaps and heaps of filtration capacity, no holds barred, because you can quite imagine. I can see this pond getting into heavy kiloage per day of food when it gets to it. So more on that when I get to it. I'm still very, very undecided on everything at the moment. Ricky, I've used air source heat pumps 15 years on and off, but always fitted them as per their instructions. So there's always plenty of air around the units. Very good. Thank you. I bought some sodium thiosulfate. Is there a go-to measurement you use or recommend? I'm very, very sorry. I've got it. I just can't remember it off the top of my head. I can only just about remember the doses that I use once I have pre-mixed it. I'm sure you can look it up online. There'll be something around, or other koi keepers might have to hand. Not something you can really overdo it with. But yeah, I just can't. Sorry, can't remember it off the top of my head. Alan, hi Ricky. Feeding Saki Akari, 2 growth to 1 colour mix. Fish look better than ever, but my water is a bit cloudy. Not sure if it's the food, but it was okay before colour and growth. Might be the change. How long, when you transition over on a food, you can tend to get it. Have you started feeding more? It's not normally the case. People tend to report the opposite way with that stuff. So, but there's always normally a transitional period. When you change the food, you can almost give your fish the shits. It can really, really foul your water up. So, yeah, give it a shot. Sorry, I caught me eye there. I just caught Chris winding me up. But yes, Alan, probably a bit more information if you can on sort of how you transition, where you're at, how long it's been. What temperature you at as well to be feeding growth and colour? That could play big parts in that. So a bit more information if you can. Yes, when it starts, Mickey, it's going to be a full on video series in it, because it's going to be a fun one. That is. Yes, Chris. Yes. Fucking 45 foot long, 12,000 gallon it's going to be. And there'll be two filters about this big with fucking 3 cartridges in each, capable of feeding 4 kilos a day. I'm sure that's probably do more better with the great pile of bullshit, eh? Fucking unreal. Yeah, 20 degrees. That might be why, Alan. Normally that you can get away with it 100%. I would be more wanting to be sort of 22 upwards. Like I said, I don't know what transition you've had from the other food. So yeah, might just want to look at that. or if you are only recently off the new food, you want at least 2 to 3 weeks after changing food if it's solely going in, and it should eventually pick up. But color and growth, in the cooler it gets, the more kind of waste it will, because digestive efficiency will drop off the cooler it gets. They're aggressive foods for, for me, for growing temperatures, and that's 22 upwards. I only generally use it when it gets cooler. The thing is, as well, I probably won't have even registered what the water might have done at that point, but I might use it to manipulate kind of body weight gains, speed up body weight gains using it cooler. But I would expect to get a bit of heavier waste from it, and that's said with absolutely any food. I'm not even gonna lie, right? I'm having the fucking same thing, and it makes my fucking piss absolutely boil over. It's an absolute joke. I've never ever. It's been a while, right? There's one fucking clown who seems to have vanished, but since then, just seeing such madness, I'm not doubting that these things will be a decent filter. Yeah, we don't go slagging. Fucking Nexus a decent filter. It's the best selling filter probably ever made. They're unbelievable. They do the job. Just because someone probably installs some or don't maintain it, shouldn't be using it as an example like that. It's fucking bonkers. Joe, yes, we will reach out, mate, about your fish. I'll jump on after I've done this. So yeah, I can't. I mean, it's just fucking mad. I've used Jack Mat. There's no wrong with Jack Mat. It's good stuff. I've used other matting, but fuck me, does the stuff cake up? And when it does, that efficiency drops off a mile. And I have just, I'm struggling to watch and not comment or do absolute anything. But likewise as well, I don't like coming on here and saying too much, because then I think it fucking potentially even draws attention to it, and I don't even want to do that. So it's a thingy one, but fucking madness, absolute madness. Yeah, we'll leave that one at that. I tell you what, let's have a little bit of a break here. I need to get off that topic. Right, let me show you what's running here. Look at the minute. So this is on the new site, so Ricky Stoddart nishikigoi.com, and we've now got this. If you've a lot, I know you've seen it already, but you can go ahead and register now on here. You hit on there. If you've not got an account, you can get on and get signed up. So that'll allow you to go ahead and bid. And here you can see all the different fish. We've had an absolute monster drop on today. These are all ending tomorrow night from 7 p.m. I'm going to be on a live stream as that happens as well, to see or to talk you all through what's going on and make sure it's all right again. So these actually run with our anti-snipe functionality as well. So if people bid in within the last 3 minutes, it adds 3 minutes back on. All gets very, very fun, to be honest with you. It has been, and now it's been refined and refreshed as well. So it really is starting to work as we actually intended. That must be the Sankey Chris is bidding on, is it? No, you're not bidding enough yet, Chris. And what we've also got is fish now, if they come with a growing option, you'll actually see it. So if there are any services, it'll be here, and there's a full explanation of what it is, what it costs, and all the rest of it there. And yeah, fully automated. So when you have bid or won a bid, you'll either get it here to complete payment, or you'll have a notification. Sorry, it comes up in your basket. So you can go on and complete that, add any services that you want to, and away you go. Full details in here. Look, appraisals. There's I do a voice appraisal on the video as well, so you've got the whole lot. But this time, rather than WhatsApp, you've got time to browse and actually make informed decisions. It's all there, and then automatically after, when you're done. Now, who wants to see this? Who wants to see this? What's in here for me? I'm going to leave you hanging. You need to let me know in comments. Do you want to see what's in my collection on my page? Yeah, your fish will then appear in your my collection page, and you can go from there and arrange. There's no kind of shipping decisions to be made at the time of purchase, but whenever you're ready, you can go on here to shipments, go ahead and create a new shipment when you've got fish here, when you've got fish ready to ship, and boom, away you will go. So yeah, pretty cool, and that just gives you flexibility. You know, if you're wanting to, because obviously shipping isn't the cheapest for that box. So you want to make the most of it. You can quite easily do that by just waiting, and you can add fish, and when you're ready, go ahead and do it. How we're actually working shipping at the moment is you just pay a flat fee. We decide, what box it needs. If we need to use 1 box, 2 box, 3 boxes, we just charge the flat fee, and we just do what's best for the fish. So you want to see? I don't know. There was one fish. There was one fish in here because I said it was. They'd all got fish in theirs. Chris, Dan, I'd got nothing, and I joked I should build it up properly, but I don't know if. Oh, she's there. Look, she's there. No, she's not available to ship. Just the one for me. I should get a few more in at some point, shouldn't I? Well, there you go. That's my my one fish in my collection page. What do you reckon to that one, eh? Absolute beast. So yeah, that's the one, and so hopefully you can join me tomorrow afternoon. Sorry, tomorrow evening. When that ends, and hopefully it all goes well. There's a whole load of, you get notifications up in there. You won't see some of them ones I've got, but yeah, you get to pings for the auctions and email updates and all kinds of stuff. So very, very slick. And yeah, I think Dan's added this today as well. I've just seen my bids. So if there's certain lots that you're just bidding on, you can select that and it'll filter them out. You've got filters and bits and bobs here. So again, still early, but we're really working on this, or literally every day. And yeah, awesome. Absolutely awesome. Well, all right, it's quite simple how it works, mate. You got to buy one, then you can get it in there. Look, yeah. So very, very good point, Chris, and that is why they're not all loaded on there, mate, because some people just don't need to know certain bits of information, pal, whatsoever. Yeah, brilliant. Mickey, will there eventually be a merchandise tab? Not at the moment. Dan's watching. I need him in good form. Don't blow his head to pieces. There'll be a lot. There's a lot to come. I am at. People asked a few times the things I'm most looking forward to this year. This stuff is buzzing my world on the daily, and as we actually get it all properly settled down as well. Yeah, and hopefully you guys are enjoying watching it all roll out as well, and yeah, seeing it develop. So that's that one. I can't believe we've got 40 minutes left here and no more questions. I'll tell you one that Dan's left the chat. Just an interesting one, and that's actually a good opportunity for this now. Heavy metals. So you will find videos on my channels going very, very, very a long time ago. The early parts of my content formed around this. Question time episodes, Koi Talk podcast, you name it. Heavy metals, and trying to draw people's attention to how problematic this can be in your koi keeping hobby. Now, one of the community members, new koi keeper, quite local to me, just been absolutely on it, as you are when you're new, and had some very weird shit sort of going on in the pond. And yeah, I've been investigating, and the first thing I had pointed towards, because I saw this behavior. So 20 degrees, good water on your standard test kits, nothing really of any concern, no real parasites, anything like that. And fish are sat at the bottom like they've got absolutely fucking no energy, not laid over, but just sat chilling. And that is one of the symptoms I have seen once upon a time from heavy metals, because obviously don't forget these things are weighing heavy on the fish. They really are weighing heavy. So got the test done, and the results came back the other day, and I ran them through my spreadsheet. To be honest, at a glance, I looked at it because they come back. So it's Ivario home test, spelled Ivario. It's about 130 quid, 140 quid for this test. And I mean, don't get me wrong, the pond one, or not even the pond one, just the tap. The tap's probably the better one if you're only doing one. In this case, I like to have two done. And even that, given the average price of koi, even at the lowest levels, I I think it's a drop in the ocean to know, do it once even, and actually understand what water you're dealing with in your pond and your tap. This one come back, I've never seen a copper level like it. Fucking horrendous. Uh, I can't remember them now off the top of my head, but it was insane out the tap. The purification in place was doing something to reduce it, but even still, the value in the pond was crazy. I think value in the pond, if I remember right, was around 80 micrograms per liter, and in the moderate hard water, we'd be expecting 10 to 15 micrograms per liter maximum. That's how far over it was. And then the zinc was probably about 3-4 times safe value as well. Two of the most caustic metals, two of the nastiest ones. The problem is as well, the fish safe values I've said this before, they're only ever been tested in isolation. So that value has been determined based on the presence of that one metal. The minute there's a presence of more than one, there are no known safe values for the combinations. So it's a shit show, and that is there, and the longer the fish are exposed to this, the more effect it has as it builds up within them, builds up on the gill. Just not what you want to be doing. But the problems here come in that environment. Fish get a knock, ulceration is likely going to happen a lot easier because the fish are weaker, immune system suppressed. Reoccurring parasites likely going to happen more because why? The fish are suppressed. And it goes on and on. The likelihood of a bacterial outbreak when something triggers higher. Why? Fish's immune system suppressed, and it just gets worse and worse over time. Random fish deaths more likely. This is something that can't be. You just can't leave it, because you could think you've got great water clarity, your standard test kit's all looking good. I just want to point you out as well that there are no known bench photometers or anything like that will test down to these levels properly. It's laboratory tested for a reason, because the equipment is very, very scientific equipment that needs to be maintained and monitored properly and used properly in order to get accurate results. Because I've seen it amongst these tests, a lot of variation sometimes, and this is why I've been sticking with this one. It's been the most accurate that I've been dealing with. So I do need to point out, if you do go ahead and have that done, the values come back in milligrams per liter, because this is for drinking water. And when it comes back as well, you will have the reports, and everything on it will generally be green. So because it will be within values for drinking water typically. The problem is it's when you convert it there to micrograms per liter and then bench it against the fish safe values is when it all goes to shit. But this is the say, I did experience this for a long time when I grew up working in my dad's shop, is that people would happily spend hundreds of pounds on koi and didn't want to buy the test kit at 30 quid back then, what it was, 25, 30 quid. Fuck knows what they are these days. But that's how that was. Likewise, people didn't want to buy the microscope or all the equipment needed to keep them right. And it even back then, it used to blow my mind. But this, for me, as a one-time thing to understand your water and where it's at, I just think is so important, especially for something like this, because it can be sat there in the background doing so much harm to your collection. So there you go. It's actually Sam's ear. Look, fair play for cropping up, Sam. Yeah, and this is one thing, for Sam as a newcomer, I just, I see the alarm bells. I saw some of the other advice along the way being given, and people just fucking missing it entirely. And this thing just sits there in the background doing so much harm. And it's easy, you can get a fundamental setup in place for it, have it managed, it never become never become a problem again. Other scenarios in Sam's setup, he won't mind me saying now, I've looked and, fair play to Sam, everything I fucking mentioned, he's got on and got it done. But auto top up, not really knowing how much water was going in, and it actually was adding up to quite a lot. So then you look at that, knowing that water, there's quite a lot of it going in. It's toxic as hell for the fish. That's also means it's going to be blowing the dechlorinators out a lot faster as well. Because I mean, the chlorine level in there was madness as well. All these things compounding, and it's stuff that probably isn't paid enough attention to. And like I say, it really will just hammer your fish in the background. You get that random death one day, you think what, or just stuff you can't fix up, and it keeps going. So like I say, Ivario home test, it's the one that's a bit dear. It's a premium one. It's about 130, 140 quid. And then you'll know from there what you've got. But maybe, Sam, when I've got a new videographer in place, we might be able to do some content when we've got him out the arse end of it and settled down. So yeah, it's a journey, isn't it? It's a journey. But again, how easy, a new koi keeper to the hobby can be lost as well when this shit happens. The documentary, fair play to Martin on that one for actually hanging in as long as he did, and he went through the absolute worst of it. So yeah, pay attention, please, folks. And yeah, there it is. Nasty one. Worth understanding for sure. Do you think the really new fast growing of fish will affect the skeleton of the fish in later life? Gary, I mean, it's not new. It's probably the bit I'd point out there. This has been going on for a fucking long time. This has been going on for decades. Because this basically started going on the minute Matsunoski created the Magoi bloodline Sankey, and then the first 1 meter to go Sankey was created from that bloodline. So that's where that is. Yes, it can. Don't get me wrong. I'm not a fan of. It's more the raising technique. So absolutely pushing these fish. If it's genetically not capable and you try and push it too hard, it's never going to be good for it. And then if they are genetically capable and you're just pushing them in an environment 12 months of the year, absolutely, hammering food at them like that, that's not good for them. It's going to age the skin. It's going to do no good whatsoever. But raised properly, the important thing you have to remember these days is the genetic capability of this fish. And actually, most people are probably not getting enough out of what they're capable of, underdoing it in most cases. Some of them will just naturally grow so easily. And if you're raising fish, and the first time I got into, proper bloodline fish, if you like, where they're packing some serious genetics, you start growing them and the difference is just night and day. It's so effortless to do versus fish that aren't necessarily as adapt to it. So yeah, I don't really think. I think it's more on the individual raising technique that can cause the problems there with that one. I don't have any information on Cadium in my stuff, and I'm not going to lie. All the information I've got is from the amazing work of Anne Telford back in the day, and I must say she seemed to be. When I look back now, she seemed to be out there on her own, banging this drum about metals, and everyone thinking, "What the fuck is she banging on about this for?" And I've got when I the first cases I had, she was my guiding light in all that and getting it sorted, and it was quite remarkable. And a lot of that research, and think the fish safe value set I've got, she is published in an old koi carp magazine. That's where I've got it from. It's very hard to come across, but that was the work that was done. And off the top of my head, I don't think Cadium's on there, but she did have the most toxic of the metals all done, and that's not on there, which is a good sign. all just been set up, Mickey. This was literally happened this week, I think. So just been set up and done. Yes, common 3 to 4 days, disrupting water. Fluke treatments can cause more flashing and irritation as well, frustratingly. So yeah, expect that. Don't worry about it. I see a million different types of clay. Is it something you use? Is it worth that? So yeah, I love clay. Advocate of it. I think a lot of the types. The Back to Plus one for me is good. I've seen some quite nice sort of side effects on Sumi from it as well. They're not all made the same, but they are very similar. So, I mean, the ultimate one used to be Japanese Refresh back in the day. I don't think it's still out there anymore. That thing just seemed next level. It was like you put fish on crack, sprinkling it in, they're going absolutely bonkers, and everything just glistened the next day. But yeah, it's good. I mean, it plays a good flocculant as well, and there's nothing really negative to come from it, and it's not crazy expensive. So, but if there was going to be, and the one I use when I use it tends to be Back to Plus still. That's me hit the bottom of that pile, ladies and gents. And if I check my list, I think I've got everything. Oh, so just a quick reminder on the platform is usernames are now live, and now is your chance to be one of the first to get in on that one. Now, if you're not registered already, rickystoddartnishikigoi.com, you can get yourself signed up. If you're an existing customer, there will be an account there. So if you purchase fish from me at any time, I've been running Koi Online or this, there'll be an account there, so we can get that sorted. You just need to do a password reset with your email, and it'll complete your verification on it. But yeah, get yourself signed up, and now ground zero, loads available. Your usernames, whatever you want to have. If you'd like to have a public presence on the platform while you're bidding, or for any of the future stuff, you can go in and get your username registered up before somebody does. Say rickystoddartnishikigoi.com. Other than that, I'm going to take this moment to. Oh, sorry, one question just coming from Clint, and it's relevant. You know, this might be a daft question, but once you have a water report, yeah, they can change, but generally it tends to be the chlorines and that type of thing that change. The metals will stay a bit more consistent, because ultimately what you can do, you can get a water report from your water provider, but it's amazing the difference you will see from that to what actually comes out of your tap, because of the impact that the pipe and sort of network can have on it getting to when it comes out of your tap. So I generally, no, I wouldn't say it'll change massively, but yes, it can. But on the metals values, which is the bit we really wanted to do that test for, it's going to give you a great understanding, and not something you need to be doing. End of the day, if you get set for that, you're probably going to be set for your worst case when that test comes back. Right. Let me get. Yes. So you won't see. I've not got the picture here to show you, but we did the Kondo Goshki. Absolutely amazing with Floating Benny. Prize competition. It's a Nisai female, superb example, and coming with an additional 3-month growing period. Let me just stop that one, and yeah, we're gonna get that done now. So let me just give that one shuffle, so they're already mixed up. Right, and I've put it on. The Wheel of Torture is on the longest spin, of course. That's the way we want it. Right, let me add that on. So there it is. I've shuffled it once. We're going to give it another couple of shuffles. There we go. And we'll see who it is. I say 344 entries, but it's a drop compared to what some of them have been. So best of luck to everyone. Thank you again to everyone who has supported it. And let's see who tonight's winner is. It's a really long, treacherous spin for everybody watching who's a part of it. Oh, I think we're slowing down. Everybody's stood with a face to the screen at this point. I can't see a thing. Fucking hell, he's only gone and won one. Oh, Chris, he's going to be dancing around his living room right now, let me tell you. Are you still tuned in, Chris? Absolutely. It's sure he's one of repeat offenders, always saying he never wins. And there we go. Congratulations, Chris. I know you've always supported them big time, and nice for you to get a win there, pal. Class, absolutely class. There you go. Just goes to show anybody can win. Yeah, he's here. Uh, brilliant, 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 brilliant. Happy days. So that's it from me for tonight, ladies and gents. I'm gonna go and rest my tired head, ready for another early start tomorrow. And she's going nuts. Love it. Love it. Yeah, there we go. And I'll be back tomorrow evening, 7 p.m. for the watch along for the auction, see what madness comes of that one. So happy days. Thanks for everyone who's tuned in, and I will catch you all tomorrow night or next week, certainly soon.